Welcome to Unmasking Representations, the truth about Hispanic and Latinx communities, where we delve into the stories that shape our society and challenge the narratives we often take for granted. I'm your host, Daisy Orozco. Today, we're focusing on an important issue, the disinformation and damaging stereotypes that affect how Latinx and Hispanic communities are portrayed in mainstream media. This topic is incredibly timely as the way communities are represented can significantly impact public perception, policy decisions, and ultimately the lived experiences of individuals within those communities. Disinformation and widespread misinformation play significant roles in how these communities are represented in the media. We often see narratives that not only perpetrate harmful stereotypes, but can also shape public opinion in ways that lead to real-world consequences. For instance, when a particular group is constantly portrayed through a lens of violence or criminality, it influences how society views them and interacts with them. To promote a more truthful and respectful depiction, it's crucial to understand the significance and impacts of these narratives. It's not just about what we see in our screens, it's also about how those images affect our beliefs, our policies, and our interactions with one another. So for you who's listening, I want you to think about this. Have you ever stopped to think about how media representation shapes your perception of different communities? And how often do you find yourself questioning what you see and hear in the news? One of the most pervasive and harmful stereotypes is the belief that individuals of Latinx and Hispanic descent are violent. This stereotype is not just a casual misconception, it has deep roots in how the media portrays these communities. According to a Pew Research Center study from 2019, over 62% of Americans believe that immigrants were more likely to commit crimes than those born in the U.S. This alarming statistic reflects a broader trend in media representation. Extreme news coverage often focuses on crime committed by individuals of Hispanic and Latinx heritage, especially in relations to the U.S.-Mexico border. News outlets frequently highlight violent crimes and drug trafficking, crafting a narrative that paints entire communities as dangerous and criminals. Public figures have played a significant role in perpetuating these stereotypes. For example, during a campaign rally in August 2016, Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Kaine referred to Donald Trump as a trash talker. Kaine pointed out Trump's remarks about various groups, specifically highlighting the damaging ones aimed at the Latino communities. Let's listen to what Kaine had to say about Trump's remarks.
When Donald Trump says women should be punished, or Mexicans are rapists and criminals, or John McCain's not a hero, he is showing you who he is.
While it's important to note that Trump did not say that all Mexicans are rapists in a direct sense, he did make generalizations that have caused harm. When Trump announced his candidacy in June of 2015, this is what he said.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
These statements have been proven false by many fact checks, with PolitiFact giving what they call pants on fire ratings to his claims that the Mexican government is sending violent criminals to the U.S. In reality, experts say that most undocumented Latino immigrants come to the U.S. looking for jobs and to be with their families, not to commit crimes. As we get closer to the 2024 presidential election, we should also be thinking about the misinformation aimed at Latino voters. Research from the Digital Democracy Institute of the Americas shows that many Latinos are facing a lot of misleading political information. In a recent survey, over 3,000 Latinos were polled about their exposure to false claims circulating online. Roberta Braga, the founder of DDIA, emphasized that many of these communities engage with the same type of content that broader audiences do, including misleading narratives that have been co-opted and spread by Spanish-language accounts. For example, a troubling claim has circulated that Democrats are failing to secure the U.S. southern border to allow undocumented immigrants to vote. Alarmingly, 22% of poll respondents agreed with this statement, and among those who had seen it before, 41% believed it. It's important to emphasize that this talking point, often repeated by figures like former President Donald Trump, has no basis. There's no evidence that non-citizens are voting in the U.S. elections, as it's illegal. So we might ask ourselves, how do these falsehoods affect Latino voters? On one hand, a portion of the community may believe the lies, which could influence how they vote. Others are unsure what to believe, which might show they are being cautious. But it's also a problem because when the people don't trust reliable sources, they can be easily misled by conspiracy theories and false claims. So, what can we do about this? It starts with media literacy, something we should all practice more. We need to be better at analyzing the media we consume, asking questions like, is this news source biased? Is the story balanced and fair? Who benefits from the narrative being told? This critical approach can help us challenge the misinformation and disinformation we encounter daily. It is also essential for journalists and media creators to take responsibility. Fair, accurate reporting is key to ensure that we move away from harmful portrayals. We should be highlighting the diverse accomplishment and experiences of Hispanic and Latinx people. That's all for today. Thanks for joining me as we explore how misinformation and disinformation are affecting the Hispanic and Latinx communities in the media. Remember, the stories we tell and the way we tell them matter. If we want to create a more inclusive society, it starts with the truth. Until next time, I'm Daisy Orozco.